heroes then. They're legends now. They're the most important shirts in the history of English football. I've been playing detective to track them down. Come with me as I hunt down the shirts of 66. Well, I'm almost at the end of my quest to find the shirts from 66. The hunt for the shirts has taken me on a long, long journey. I've crisscrossed England and my inquiries have even taken me across to Germany.
Dankeschön.
It's been amazing to talk to England's World Cup winners about their memories and to find out about the late, great Bobby Moore. I also found out a lot about the shirts. I found George Cohen's in Germany. Jackie Charlton's was in his drawer at home. Nobby Styles had Alan Ball's. And Nobby's is with the collector. It looks like Wolfgang Overath has Martin Peters. Roger Hunt's is with the collector. And the whereabouts of Bobby Moore's is still a mystery. Bobby Charlton's, Ray Wilson's and Gordon Banks are still missing in Germany. But there's still one to go. Here I am back at Upton Park, and I'm here to talk to the one and only England's hat-trick hero, Mr. Geoff Hurst. So this must be a home from home for you, eh, kid?
Certainly is. This is my footballing home. I joined the club almost from school, 15 and a half, 16 years of age. A friend of my father wrote to two clubs. He wrote to West Ham and to Arsenal. So West Ham saw something in this green youngster and took me on.
There's Brown, number 5, and Hurst. Goal! It's a goal! Hurst has scored!
West Ham is my spiritual home, football-wise, and I come to the club whenever I can.
Well, you missed the first 3 games of the World Cup series, isn't it?
I made my debut in '66 against Argentina. So I was ready and half expecting I may have a chance now to play in the final.
How much are you charging at the moment for, say, a 10-shilling ticket?
Well, at the moment, £5.
And what about the most expensive, the fiver?
£30.
£30?
Yeah. Mind you, I'd like to sort of make it clear I'm paying well over the odds for them myself anyway, you know.
Well, how much would you pay for a £5 ticket from your sources?
Well, I wouldn't like to disclose that anyway.
Really felt the expectations of it there. People, calling out to you. The noise was fantastic. And then you got into the dressing room.
I can remember saying to Jackie Charlton about 5 and 20 past, 2:30, I said, I can't believe this, Jack. I said, it's probably one of the most important matches that we're going to be playing in, and there's chaos in the dressing rooms.
My memories are of being extremely nervous up the tunnel. It didn't just seem to me like there were 100,000 people up there at Wembley. It seemed and felt very strongly that the whole of our country was in the stadium.
Once the game started, England didn't play very well and they made a mistake and Germany went ahead and we thought, oh gosh, this is going to be a bit of an anticlimax.
Ray Wilson made his only mistake I saw in the whole of the competition.
I made a bad header, really, bad timed header.
An English defensive lapse gave the ball to Haller, and that was it.
But there was no panic because it was early doors. It was after about 15, 20 minutes.
And then Geoff Hurst headed a free kick in that Bobby Moore had taken, and unchallenged because a few minutes before he'd clattered into the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper didn't come out the second time, and Geoff Hurst freely, headed the ball in.
With a free kick. In goes! It's an equaliser! Geoff Hurst, he's got a vital goal which has put England back into this game.
And then second half, Geoff Hurst had a ball, and it ballooned up in the air, and we're all watching to see where it's coming down, and I'm looking, and our kid is there.
I thought to myself, please don't let it fall to Jack. But it fell to Martin Peters. And he put it away great. And we were in front. And from that minute on, I knew we weren't going to get beaten.
It's there! Peters has scored!
I suppose Martin might have thought that he scored the winning goal.
But there was a terrible sting in the tail right at the very, very end.
We get a free kick given against us. Our Jack was supposed to be over the top of this play and free kick. And they hit it into the melee of the goal, and it's bouncing round, and I'm thinking, where's it going to finish?
The ball was driven into my near post because it hit my knee.
And flew across the goals, and it hit Haller under the arm.
Held. Shining eye.
Well, there was a handball, without a doubt. Everybody talks about Jeff's goal, but that particular was just as controversial.
And it killed the pace of the ball. It would have gone straight across the goals, but it hit him on the arm, and he killed it, and it went there, and the guy got there 100th of a second in front of Ray Wilson.
Oh, yes, it must do! They have done! Weber has scored in the last seconds!
But if you look behind it, you'll see Bobby Moore with his hands in the air for a handball. Yeah. And it was.
What a dramatic end.
Oh, we were absolutely gutted. We really were, because we just kicked off and they blows the whistle for full time.
It had to be extra time.
Alf come onto the pitch and just said, look, you've won it once, guys, you just got to go out and win it again. He said, look at the Germans, they're having their legs rubbed, they're tired, you know, their socks are down, you know, you can do this.
We could have gone on for another hour. It may not have been at the same pace, but we damn well knew that the Germans couldn't do it.
England began with a vigour and speed astounding after the gruelling 90 minutes they'd already played.
I chased the ball down from Nobby, a great ball inside me, and I just thought, get it in.
Then Jeff Hurst, cool and collected, had the ball in the net.
Hit the crossbar and came down at least a yard over the line. But I have to tell you, my memory's not quite as good as it was.
Nobody to this day knows whether it was actually over the line or under the line.
Roger Hunt immediately turned away and ran back to the centre circle. Now, Roger Hunt was such a predator, he would, if he had any doubt, he would have followed it in and made sure it was over the line.
So I put my hand up and turned away, you know, rather than normally, I would have gone in for that ball. Yeah. But I was so convinced it was over, my reaction was to turn away.
And somebody said, the linesman's got his flag up, and I thought, no, you know, he's disallowed it.
The linesman says no. It's a goal! It's a goal! Oh, and the Germans go mad at the referee. This the linesman who can only speak Russian and Turkish.
The Germans have never forgiven us for that, never.
When we went up 3-2, it was the longest 10 minutes I've ever had in my life on a football ground.
And so we went on to the virtually end of extra time when Bobby Moore did that wonderful thing and knocked the ball up to Jeff.
Out it's come, and I am running down the right wing. Jeff's with his man, and I'm screaming at him, Husty, give it here.
Bowley yelling for it over there, but Jeff went straight on.
A couple of fans have come by me, going the other way. And I'm thinking, what's going on here?
And I'm thinking this, if it goes beyond the bar, into the crowd, by the time the ball boy gets it back to the German keeper, Chilkowski, time he kicks it down the park, it's over. But as you know, Ricky, it went in. I mishit it and it flew in.
It's all over, I think. No, it's... And here comes Hurst. He's got some people are on the pitch. They think it's all over. It is now. It's four.
His hat-trick was one with his right foot, one with his left foot, and a header. And that is, for me, a perfect hat-trick.
Are you the only person ever to score 3 goals in a World Cup final?
You know, it's the only time it's been done. It's a record I'm proud of, and a record I've got half a chance of taking to my grave.
I can't put it off any longer. The moment of truth on my final shirt. What about your shirt? What happened to the shirt you wore on the day?
The shirt I wore, I just kept. I rolled it up. I had strangely, nobody wanted to share with me.
Isn't that amazing? That?
Well, perhaps the Germans didn't, after I scored 3, didn't really fancy taking this. I think they may want to ripped it off my back. I don't think they want to fold it up. And so I kept it, and I've stuck it, like with many of the things, in a bin liner in my loft for a long, long time. And about 3 to 4 years ago, I'd accumulated a lot of memorabilia and medals and programs and shirts, and I swapped. And the kids, quite frankly, were not really interested. I talked to them once about what would they like if I'm no longer around for the future. And they sort of misread what I'd said, and my oldest daughter said, that settee in the living room. So after a long period of time, my wife and I discussed it quite in detail and said it's better to put them up for an auction with Christie's.
Lot number 40, I have an opening bid here of £15,000. At £15,000. Opening bid here of 16,000.
And so for 91,750. So again, that came from Jeff directly. Provenance was fantastic, and no question regarding the authenticity of the shirts.
Sold £91,750. Well, guess what? Jeff Hurst's shirt was bought by our old friend, collector, Gordon Messino.
So this is the shirt worn by Jeff Hurst.
Yeah, I see.
The number 10, the only man to score a hat-trick. Interesting that Jeff had number 10 because it indicated that Alf thought he'd be in the starting lineup, which he never was until the quarter-final.
Well, England finally got what they wanted, a Jules Rimet World Cup trophy. And what about me? Well, I don't think I did too badly. And thanks to Gordon, I got another red shirt. But that's all the lads done. After the break, it's party time, as the lads celebrate winning the World Cup and I celebrate finding all these shirts.
40 years after that World Cup win, here I am on the team coach with most of the lads, and once again, we're on our way to Wembley! Yay!
In part 1, I found Jeff Hurst's shirt in the care of collector Gordon Messino. Oh, and England won the World Cup, beating West Germany 4-2 after extra time. It was quite simply a time for celebration.
It was just an unbelievable atmosphere in Wembley Stadium, and I thought, oh God, you know, this is special.
You saw Jack on his knees and Bobby crying, Ray Wilson all emotional.
Bobby Moore led England up to the Royal Box to receive the Jules Rimet Cup and the winners' medals.
It's wonderful when your kid's going up to get his medal and there's tears streaming. I think that's wonderful. I love that. That to me is great.
Yeah, I ran up to him, and after when the final whistle went, and I ran up to him to give him a hug, and he was stood there, and his tears were running down his face, and I said, "What's the matter, you know?"
What's the matter?
And he went, "What else is there to win?"
Oh.
You know.
I never cry when we get beat, but you know, but the emotion and the crowd, and they were so happy, and we had worked so hard that I just couldn't stop.
And Nobby said to me, "Would you mind putting me false teeth in your pocket?" He said, "Because if the final whistle goes and we've won the World Cup," he says, "I want you, try and get down as soon as possible and get me teeth in." So we all know the outcome. I didn't get down very quickly, and you saw Nobby dancing around with no front teeth in, with the World Cup on his head. So, his teeth were in my pocket.
Oh, great match, because we won, didn't we? Great, fabulous. How do you feel now? Oh, over the world, over the world. How do you feel about things, Jackie?
Bobby?
Bobby, I'm sorry.
You don't have to ask me, really, do you?
40 years later, I brought together the surviving members of the World Cup team.
Jack, you playing the manager?
Is it the same, boss?
Oh, that's good.
Oh, well, here we are. It's a wonderful day. It's a wonderful occasion, and I'm delighted to say that most of the lads still got their own hips and teeth.
When
winning the World Cup was a great joy for us, and it was really a big relief in a roundabout way that it was over, because you just felt this huge weight off your shoulders. It was finished.
It was absolutely tremendous. People out on the streets and just waving and cheering.
I really became aware of the day how the general public saw it when we were on the balcony at the Royal Garden Hotel.
There was thousands of people around, and we went up and waved to all the people and showed the Jules Rimet Cup.
Believe it or not, the wives of the World Cup winners had to have their celebration dinner in another room. Apparently, the girls or the women or the girlfriends in them days weren't allowed to stay with them.
Oh, no. It didn't happen in those days. Quite a different world, you know. No, we were kept very much apart, and I don't think that was any big surprise to us, because things were just so different then. It was like taking your wife to work with you.
But you weren't allowed to have the meal with them after the game, were you?
No, that was, we did have a moan about that. We thought that was taking it too far, and we were quite upset that we weren't included. But of course, eventually we met up with them, when their banquet had finished, and we all met up in the reception and went off and did our separate thing.
The day after the World Cup, we went to Pathy News, because the World Cup was in black and white. But Pathy News actually had it going out on the Monday and the Tuesday and the Wednesdays like they used to do, in the break in between the A pitch and the B pitch. It was in colour. And we watched the game, and then it was Alf brought the players out, and he said to him, gentlemen, he said, we have been awarded £22,000 for winning the World Cup. He said, I suggest that each player has £500, and then we'll go on appearances. Well, there was 8 had it played in every game. And Bobby Moore just stood up and said, no, Alf, it's £1,000 apiece. And Alf said, I thought you would say that, Robert.
All 22 members of the England squad were awarded £1,000 by the Football Association in recognition of winning the World Cup. Other recognition followed.
Tell me this, you got the MBE?
Well, everybody's got an honour in the team now. Everybody's got an honour, but over different periods.
Alf Ramsey received a knighthood in 1967. But what about the lads? Well, Bobby Charlton and Geoff Hurst received knighthoods. Gordon Banks, Bobby Moore and Jackie Charlton received OBEs. Martin Peters received an MBE. But that still left 5 of the lads.
There was 5 of us who, I think it was year 2000, the 5 of us who hadn't got any honours. The 5, I think, was Alan Ball, Ray Wilson, myself, Nobby and George Cohen. We all went up and received our MBEs together.
So what of my own challenge to find the shirts worn by England's World Cup winners? I don't think I did that badly. I found George Cohen's in Germany. Jackie Charlton's was in his drawer at home. Nobby Styles had Alan Ball's. And Nobby's is with the collector. It looks like Wolfgang Govath has Martin Peters. Roger Hunt is with the collector. And the whereabouts of Bobby Moore's is still a mystery. Bobby Charlton's, Ray Wilson's and Gordon Banks are still missing in Germany. And finally, Geoff Hurst's shirt is with the same collector who has Roger Hunt's. But there's a last-minute twist to my story, and I'm back at Christie's, the auctioneers.
And this is actually George Cohen's match-worn example from 1966 World Cup final. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful shirt. You see the condition, obviously, a wee bit against it, some holes here, and then the sleeve then just shows us all it's been match-worn sort of thing. So it's a great, great find.
How long have you had that? Because I'm sure that's the shirt I seen over in Cologne when I was over there. This is George Cohen's shirt. The original.
That is the original Cohen shirt. I found it in my father's estate.
Yes, it's come from the Emmerich family who they swapped with after the final. And the last couple of weeks, the great find that's come to auction at Christie's.
So, if Geoff Hurst's shirt sold for £91,000, Roger Hunt's for £17,500, and they valued Bobby Moore's when found at £250,000, I asked my friend at Christie's to value the rest of those shirts of 66. Would you have a rough idea, sort of thing, now, what would Gordon Banks' shirt be wearing?
Well, Gordon Banks, one of the greatest goalkeepers ever to play the game of football. You know, his yellow shirt from that game, what do you think? Again, 30,000 for Gordon's?
Say Nobby Styles?
50,000 for that shirt.
Ray Wilson?
20,000 for his shirt.
Big Jack Charlton?
25,000 for his shirt.
Young Alan Ball?
35,000 for his shirt.
Said Bobby Charlton, what would this shirt
Again, 100,000 plus for that shirt.
Martin Peters?
45,000.
Cohen?
25,000.
Fantastic. Well, 40 years after that World Cup win, here I am on the team coach with most of the lads, and once again, we're on our way to Wembley! Yeah! Now, I'm going to give George Cohen a big surprise.
OK, George.
I've just had a word with the guy from Christie's.
Yes.
And look what's turned up for the auction.
Oh, well, it's a bit holy and righteous, isn't it? God, huh?
I bet you thought you'd never see that
You're
again,
absolutely right. In fact, that wouldn't get over my nipples at the moment. Look at that.
Lothar and Nick's son had it.
Really?
And he's put it up for auction.
How much is it looking like it's going for?
They're talking in the region of 20 grand.
20,000?
20,000.
20,000.
We are a family. We realised after that World Cup just exactly how much you need each other.
To play against one of the great footballing nations, Germany, and to win it, and to be reminded of that by people today is marvellous.
It was something you would never expect in your life.
We wanted to play, we wanted to do it, we wanted to do it for our country and ourselves.
It is the most wonderful feeling.
We've been on our quest for the missing shirts. Now I've got a quest for 2 missing players. Well, that's it. We've had some laughs along the way, haven't we? And we've probably shed a tear or two. But thanks for joining me on this journey for the shirts. We found quite a few of the shirts, but then there are still a few missing. But if I keep the investigation open and you keep your eyes open, who knows, one day we may solve the mystery of the shirts of '66! Yes!